What's up everybody, and Ditters here back with another tutorial video for you guys. In today's video I'm going to share with you how I've been creating my 36 days of type challenge. And these are all the letters I have been creating. So the challenge is still ongoing on Instagram. So these are all the letters. I've all created them with the same technique, and I wanted to share with you guys how I've been doing this. In today's video I'm going to create this W again. You can follow me along. It's done in Illustrator and then the final touch is done in Photoshop. So first of all I'm going to open a document. I've already added the color palette which I used in this letter on the top of my artboard. So first of all I'm going to create the objects where the W is being creating with. So I'm going to create a rectangle for that, and I'm going to give it an outline. I'm going to press on the equal on the keyboard. So I can add a anchor point with the pen tool at the middle of the rectangle on the downside. So then I'm going to press on the minus on the keyboard and I can delete some anchor points. So press on the direct selection tool, select the top anchor points and drag these circles in, which creates a drop. So I'm going to select the drop, press on, click on it and drag it with holding Shift and Option to the right side. Do this again. And I'm going to do this again with 2 drops, and I'm going to rotate these 180 degrees. So I'm going to fit these in the middle down below. Press on Command Y. So we are going to drag these up, and we want to make sure these lines are not touching each other. So okay, something like this looks good. Press on Command Y again, select all the shapes and give it a gray fill color. So for now we go to Window, go to 3D and Materials. Now this tab opens. So click on Object and click on Inflate. Go to Materials, the base material. You can choose any materials or substance you want from Adobe, but we are going to keep it simple with the default material, because we are also going to edit this shape in Photoshop later on. So we want to add a little bit of roughness and a little bit of metallic look. So go to lighting, and this is the standard default light. So over here you can change the color of the light, you can change the intensity, the rotation and the height, but also the softness and the intensity of the shadow. So we are going to set this intensity to 1, which creates a dark shadow on the side. We are going to drag this position a little bit up. Okay, this looks quite good. We can add another light over here by clicking on the plus. We are going to drag this one all the way to the left side. And we are going to set the intensity of the light to 15%. So we're going to drag this one a little bit more up. Okay, this looks quite good. So now we are going to select all the objects, click on the arrow for the render settings, and we are going to set quality to low, because we are going to edit the object in Photoshop later on. Raster settings can be screen. If you want to output this with Illustrator alone, you can set the resolution to high, but we are going to keep it with screen 72 ppi. And we are going to set the quality to low. We keep it on low. Okay, click on render. It renders the object and it really it gives another dimension to the object. It's crazy to me this can be done in Illustrator. So for now, there's one more thing we want to do, because as you can see, and the light and the shadow only plays a role on one element and it doesn't include the other elements with it. But when you create a compound part, it's all together in one sort of part, so it works as one object, and then the shadow also reflects on the other objects. So we are going to click on object, click on compound part and make. So now it's going to render the new object, and it creates this awesome shadow also on the other objects, which looks pretty cool. So for now we want to export this W. For this we are going to cut this color palette real quick. We go to file and we want to export it as a PNG. So I'm going to give it a name, W3D Illustrator. Make sure it's on PNG, click on export, make sure it's 300 ppi and it has a transparent background. Press on OK, and now we want to open this PNG with Photoshop. Press on Command T to scale it down a little bit with holding Shift and Option. Press on the check mark. So first of all, we want to make sure it's a smart object, and now we want to add a grain effect to it. Go to filter, go to filter gallery and make sure the grain is on film grain. So this creates a nice grain on it, and we can play with the settings a little bit. So just want to give it a nice noise, and I want to set the intensity to 1. Press on OK, and now we want to click on this icon over here and click on gradient map. So now we can add our own color palette to the gradient map. First of all, we want to make sure we add some color pickers to it. Okay, go to Illustrator, and now we want to paste this color palette back again by pressing on Command V. Now we are going to open the color picker, select the hex color, press on OK, go to Photoshop and add this hex color to the color picker in Photoshop. So we are going to do this with all the colors. Copy the hex code and paste it in Photoshop. The gray one. The pink one. I really like how these color combinations work out. So the last one is just a white color, so we are going to drag this color picker all the way up to the left top corner, press on OK. And now we can change and play with the position of the colors. So we want to add a little bit more black in it, so we are going to increase the position of the black color. Play with the position a little bit. And when you are satisfied, press on OK. We want to make sure this is on create clipping mask, so it's only applied to the layer down below it. So now we want to add another layer, and we want to give it a black fill color. Click on the paint bucket tool and click one time on the background, but make sure it has a black fill color selected. So for now we want to create some, as we see in our example, some highlights on the side. To accomplish this, we want to double click on the W, and then it opens in another layer. Press with holding Command on the layer, it selects the layer, and then we can add some light colors to the side. Okay, maybe a little bit over here as well. Okay, press on Command S, and then you see it adds some light colors to the edges. So this looks quite good. So last thing I want to do is I'm going to click on adjustments, I'm going to add some levels to it. I want to give it a little bit more darker contrast to it. Okay, this looks quite good. So this is how I've created my 36 days of type letters and numbers. If you guys like this video, please drop a like, follow the channel, and I see you in my next video. Peace!